Tonight, I just wanna take you high, throw your hands up in the sky. Let's set this party alright.
Clubhouse.
Players,
Are y'all ready?
put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe, so clear. Look out. Pop, pop, it's showtime. 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 Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Gone time. Oh, they don't know. Gone time. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up. I'm wearing Cuban links. Yeah. Designer mix. Yeah. Inglewood's finest shoes. Whoop, whoop. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to give the color red the blues. Woo, shit. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only.
Clubhouse.
Brings up to the moon.
Do me a favor while it's still early. I'm going to ask you to ping some of your friends and bring them in. Once again, I'm going to ask you to ping some of your friends and bring them in. And while it's still early, I'm going to ask you to go to the hallway. Go to that hallway and put something cool on the wall.
First, take your sip, do your dip, spend your money like money ain't shit. Ooh, ooh, we too fresh. Got to blame it on Jesus. Hashtag blessed. They ain't ready for me. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up.
Hey.
So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up.
Once again, ping some of your friends and ask them to come in. Ping some of your friends and ask them to come in. It's about to go.
Girls, what y'all trying to do? What you trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe, so clear. Look out. Everywhere I go, they be like, ooh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, ooh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, ooh, so bad. Now, watch me break it down like, 24 karat, 24 karat magic. What's that sound? 24 karat magic. Come on now. 24 karat, 24 karat magic. Don't fight the feeling, invite the feeling. Just put your pinky rings up to the moon.
Once again, Clubhouse is about to go down.
What y'all trying to do?
We got some spicy day Russia invades. We got some COVID updates. Your boy Donald being Donald again. We got some guilty verdicts we got to talk about, y'all. Once again, ping some of your friends and invite them in. Ping some of your friends and invite them in while it's still early. I got 19 shares. Give me up to 50, everybody. Give me up to 50 on that wall. 24 carat. It was carrot. What is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing on this beautiful, what is today? Monday. Today is Tuesday. How are y'all doing on this beautiful Tuesday? I want to welcome everybody to Debate the News. We are about to debate. We're going to get it started off to a good start. But once again, do me a favor while we're just getting started. Ping some of your friends and invite them in. Ping some of your friends and tell them to join in on this debate because y'all know it's going to get spicy today. Also, the hallway. I'm going to ask for a couple more shares. I'm at 27. Give me up to about 50. So how's everybody doing on this beautiful day? How are you doing, Mr. Jonathan Bing? He is in the building.
Absolutely, I'm in the building, Jerry. Always here, man. I am doing great, man. I'm on top of the world, Jerry. And, as I say, man, I'm ready to debate the news. Dateline, man, Tuesday, February the 22nd, 2022, a bunch of Tuesdays. So they call it Tuesday. So absolutely 02022. 0202.
What are you talking about, bro?
Hold on, 02222022. There you go. I got it. So So yeah, that's today, man. It's an important date. A lot of people got married today. A lot of people did a lot of great things today to celebrate Tuesday. So Dateline, like I said, Tuesday. So as I was saying,
Let's call it Thriving
Dateline.
Tuesday, Jonathan. Thriving Tuesday.
No, Jerry. This is more than Thriving Tuesday, right?
It's
Anyone
supposed to be
know
a
what I'm
good day
talking
to
about?
manifest. Yeah, it's supposed to be a good day to manifest.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying,
Play,
Jerry.
and there's
You don't
even
get it, Jerry.
music
It's zero
involved,
two
and
two two 2022. It's
that's a
all
big
twos and
deal.
Point
zeros.
zero two. Okay, man. You know what, y'all? I gotta apologize to Jonathan because when he was talking, you know what, Jonathan? While you was talking, I was thinking booster. I'm sorry, brother. Let me get off of that. So I see that 02. Okay, I appreciate you. You know what? Thank you for that, Annie. But
Sure, no
one more
problem.
thing before we go. One more thing before we go, everybody. I'm about to start modding some people right now, but moderators, and I'm talking to you, big moderators that do big rooms. Please do not moderate your friends when they come in. Leave that up to me and Jonathan. Thank you very much for that. And but yeah, Jonathan, man, we got something interesting, man. Like this Russia invasion, man. I guess Putin ain't playing, bro.
Man, Putin has not been playing for quite some time. And now he just got authorization from the, I guess, Federation to use his troops outside of Russia. One would think that's only in the, I guess, the disputed area, but no, that actually gives them permission to use it in all of Ukraine. So it's going down. Here days ago, people were like, oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, it's not going to happen. And now that it's happened, they're like, oh, Biden, not. So that's that Russia thing is.
And we do not, I repeat, we do not put our information on Google or Yahoo or any of that crap like that. I still hold a top secret clearance. There's a lot of stuff I just let people just talk because can't really talk about because the one gentleman was right. I think his name was CB. We don't we don't give our information out. Nobody gives their information out. A lot of that stuff on Google, sometimes it may be true, but nobody's going to get on Clubhouse or Facebook or anything and start saying, "Okay, yeah, this is exactly what we got." We don't do that. It doesn't happen.
And even to say something somebody else got because they read it on Yahoo, that's a stretch. Also, you can't take that as a fact. I mean,
Any,
anybody could, you know.
exactly. Even if we know that they have something, we're just going to let it fly
Right.
by because I can almost guarantee you most of the superpowers got something for each other. And we got something to stop a little bit of everything. And so do they. So we're not just the only superpower out here just doing things. But we do not get on any kind of platform and start talking about what we have and what we can't do. One thing you can't look at when you look on TV and they show the images. But somebody's been in the military and know about combat, combat fighting and arranging vehicles and so forth like that. Most of us can look on there. Okay, they're gonna do this, and there's only so many places they can move anyway.
Right.
So you can look at that, and it's kind of like it's not top secret anymore. But most of those images were looked over before they even got to the TV, and they released just some of those images. Everything that's out there, they're not showing them on TV.
It,
Like I can guarantee you
just to
that.
respond to P and the back of what CB is saying, just to give everybody an example, because I'm a biggie on military technology. I actually worked as a civilian for the NMCI, which is named Marine Corps Intranet in Norfolk, for a while. My brother's in the Marines. I have a lot of family in the military, and I'm familiar with clearances and whatnot. But just to give everybody a little taste of this, if you look at Skunk Works, which was a division of Lockheed Martin, they developed what was called the SR-71 Blackbird, which was actually made in the late 40s, early 50s. Okay, this thing was it was supersonic aircraft. It had high altitude. It could darn near almost go into space. This thing was so fast that they originally designed it to actually carry a cannon similar to that what you see on the A-10 Warhog, but the plane was going so fast that it actually caught up with its own bullets. So there's stuff out there that they're not going to announce and know about, and we just found out about the SR-71 probably like a couple decades ago or so, and it's been in service for like a while. So they already upgraded, got something new. So I wouldn't go and say because what you saw in the news and they have a hypersonic thing and nobody can catch it. I mean, we had a plane that was doing it in the 50s, and it was successful. In fact, it was an integral part of actually bringing down Russia because it was that plane that was used that took the spy photos from the atmosphere. So you know it's a lot of stuff that people got to really educate themselves on about how military technology works, and they don't release stuff. You're not going to know what they actually have unless you're trained in it and actually use it and you got your clearance, and you're not going to risk your clearance, so you're not going to go out here and start talking about things and whatnot. But it's just not going to happen. But just from that part right there, that's why I say that There's a reason why Russia didn't make this move before, and they're testing the United States. They're testing the West. Why are they testing the West? Because they want to see if they can get away with it. Why is China watching this? Because they're like, it's like a kid. If their siblings go up in the cabinet and say, "Mom, can I get a snack?" and the mom says no, but then the kid he inches towards the cookie jar and it's like, "Don't go it." The kid gets closer. Don't do it. The kid opens the lid. Don't do it. He puts his hand in there. He grabs the cookie. But then what is that other kid going to see? He's going to look and say, you know what? Mom didn't do anything. She was so adamant about stopping us getting the cookie. But then I saw my sibling go over here and grab it and they didn't do anything. You know what? I'm not afraid of mom. And I know exactly how timid they are and how cowardice they are. So I'm going to go ahead and make a
So
move
in other
too.
words, if Russia continues on, the U.S. has to do
They
something. They have no
to. That's
choice.
when you asked the question before to the brother, what would you tell Putin? I think the talk in the room
No,
now.
what would I
When I
tell? What would I tell Biden? What
What
would
would
I
I tell
tell
Biden?
Biden?
Sorry about that. What would I tell Biden? I think the thing that popped in my head was like, man, he has to act because if he don't, he has to put all the other nations that have the notion of doing the same thing ever again.
I
But that's
agree.
not necessarily true because when ISIS retook
That's ISIS, man.
the
That's
Afghanistan,
ISIS. That's ISIS.
America backed off, and that was a signal to the entire world, which even
No,
probably emboldened Russia
They did
to
not
make
do
the
no,
move
no,
that Russia
no,
made.
no, Cap. That's
But I'll
that's
say one thing for sure, though. Hold on. One thing for sure. America doesn't feel comfortable attacking or doing anything to Russia militarily because they haven't done it. If America had the supreme supremacy to really stop Russia, they would have did it, but they haven't. So that begs the
that
question: why haven't they?
that's
Nuclear
false. That's
warheads.
false.
Nuclear warheads. The U.S. has everything it needs to beat Russia, but we're not
Yeah,
trying to kill the whole
And Russia
world,
has nuclear
okay?
warheads too.
yeah.
So does North Korea. So does
Babylon is
Pakistan. So does
falling.
India. Right. So I mean, everybody has nuclear weapons, right? What
Hey,
they
I got
lack,
one. I got one.
right? You know
So
what I'm saying? I got one in the garage too. But my thing is that the point of nuclear warheads is that there's developing
You
the
guys are
nuclear
laughing,
warhead.
man, and when the NSA and all of them show up in your garage, y'all ain't gonna be
Oh,
laughing
bro.
then.
Yeah, I know. Nah. They could. Are they gonna find
I'm
them?
gonna leave. I'm
All
gonna
they're gonna
leave. I'm
find
gonna
is
leave the door
Yeah,
open. I'm gonna leave the door
yeah,
open.
Hey, Jonathan.
right.
yeah. I'm like, here it is. This is my warhead. It's a 2007 Ford Explorer and nothing more. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got there. But what you got to understand is that the development of of the enrichment, first of all, the fuel resource for enriching uranium to weapons grade has got to be 98% or so, right? There's not sufficient technologies out there to do this. People who are capable of doing this also have in combination a delivery system. This is why North Korea has warheads, but they don't have sufficient ICBMs, which is intercontinental ballistic missiles, that actually do a sufficient launch from there to there. Russia could have easily gave it to them, but it didn't. China could very easily do it, and they have nuclear weapons as well, but they just don't. And the reason why is because people are looking at the upset of power. There's no point in shooting up the neighborhood when your next door neighbor actually buys the stuff from you that you make your money from. Think about it. If you sold something, and let's say you made money from it, I sold puppies or something. Why would I say, you know what, I'm gonna kill the people who buys my puppies? Then what? What are you gonna do for money? Nothing. You have no exports, no imports, nothing. So that's the thing. It's their pocket. Now, when they feel now, say for instance, you were selling something and you got another customer. Like, you know what? I can make my money. And this person now is a thorn on my side because they're upsetting my politics, they're upsetting my worldview, and they're doing everything. Putin is ultra conservative. He's ultra religious, ultra conservative, and the dude just has a thing on the side that he wants this antiquity of Russia to exist again. He can't make that move unless the things are moved out the way. When they're moved out the way, he's going to do it. In other words, his mentality is no different from Iran. If Iran had the means, they'll do something about it. See, Israel and all these other powerful countries, they're keeping they're keeping their cool, and they got the power to take over the world, but they just don't. But because they're trying to keep the peace. That's what it
Let me ask you
is.
something after this,
I'll
and
have
let
some
me finish.
pushback on that too. What he said about
Let me
that,
say, let me just say
because
this. Why?
America has a lot of domestic problems that it is also worried about. The CIA and the FBI made many reports about the domestic problems of America, the far right groups, the alt left groups, obviously the Black Power groups, Hebrew Israelites. There's a lot of domestic things that if they were to engage in something very large overseas, that it would become power vacuumous. Like it would be some power vacuums that may happen within the country that they're also scared of,
I,
because that coup
Okay, okay.
that Donald Trump almost did was a problem. There was a far right group that planned to kidnap a congresswoman in Michigan, but the plan was foiled and they found out. But they planned to kidnap her long enough for the other person to get the election. So you still have these far right, crazy, ready to do certain things to disable the government groups out here that will take power when there's a power vacuum. So that's a domestic problem as well.
I'll be honest though, if you ride in and save the rest of the world from Putin and Xi, your domestic problems won't matter a jot, because the rest of the world will be so pro Biden, they'll be so pro this government of what you've done to save nuclear war that your domestic squabbles will be meaningless.
Exactly.
They're
Right.
really
Well, I got a little pushback against that. When America had war with Vietnam, you had leaders like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King rise up. You had hippie movements that had certain charismatic leaders pop up. What's that man? The dude had them women kill some people. That happened against Vietnam,
Charles
a
Manson.
proxy war. Yeah, Charles Manson. This was small. That was a smaller scale war than what would be if they were to fight with Russia or something on that level. You would, and then with the internet, you have mass reach. So you don't
Yeah,
want
but
5
respectfully,
Malcolm X's popping up in America. You don't
the
want
Vietnam
5
War is
Charles
not
Mansons.
comparable to
Go ahead.
this. You're going to have the whole support of NATO behind you. You're our captain. We're your cheerleader. You go in there as the heavyweight champ and just knock down this Dillian White wannabe.
So I got a question for you.
The
If
rest
America,
of us.
go ahead. I was gonna say, if America were to start losing some battles in a physical fight against Russia, how many of you gonna run to join the army?
That doesn't make
You think
sense.
the recruitment?
Well, as part of
You think the
NATO,
recruitment doors is going to be flooding with people?
You would have our strategic backing, right?
No.
If
So it wouldn't be
America used
American
NATO?
forces. It wouldn't be American forces only, would it? It'd be
Right.
NATO
It's
forces.
NATO, man. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, right?
That's correct.
So it has several organizations.
Okay.
See, here's
But
what
the
it
US
is.
is the boss.
This don't make any sense, bro. Do you know?
No.
Oh
Okay.
man, what
No, go
U.S.
ahead,
only
Analdo.
sent? U.S. only sent as of late, and I could be incorrect on this, but this is the latest number I have. They sent about 8,500 troops. These are spread throughout all the places of NATO countries, with this Lithuania, Estonia, Latvia. You have also Bulgaria. You have Czechia.
Poland and Romania.
You have all those NATO nations that surround around it. They're spread out there, right? You also already had, as P already recognized, if you don't know this, if you've never been in the military, there are military bases already around the world, man. There's tons of them. And then we also have Navy ships. We have submarines that go out on 6-month, 8-month rotations. They're already around the Suez Canal. They're already around the Indian Ocean. They're already around the Sea of Japan. They're already around the Atlantic Ocean. They are ready to launch either ICBMs or any type of weaponry over there. It's already locked. You don't need to send in troops. You don't need boots on the ground unless you need to strategically get rid of an insurgent. That's not what needs to happen here. What needs to happen here is that Putin just needs to be slapped on the hand. We're not trying to take Russia over. That would be a bad idea. We're not trying to eliminate Russia. We're not trying to take it off the map. We need to at least do enough damage to say, hey, Putin, stand back. You're important here. You're an important force. Get rid of this dream of the old USSR. Get rid of this dream of what you want in it now, and just play your role in the day to come. You're old. You're about to be out. Let's be realistic. Your country's going to change. Just embrace and look to your people. Stop trying to annex and get other countries and all that. He has a weird
Guys,
mentality
can I
about
say
that.
something? Something?
I want to respond one quick time.
One second. One mic,
Can I
guys. One mic.
respond to Kevin?
One mic. One mic.
I want to respond because he said what I
Yeah.
said.
Okay,
You
I
can't fight a
understand that.
war on two sides.
Bro,
That's one thing. Okay, go ahead.
Jonathan, don't do it.
Can I respond, please?
Wait, 1 second. No, 1 second. Tara, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, what are your thoughts of what's been said?
Well, Captain, I'm really sorry to say this, but you have so many facts wrong that it's very difficult to discuss. Charles Manson did not have a movement behind him. He was a sociopath, a psychopath who got some women behind him. He was nothing. Okay, not a political force at all. Okay, number 2 is Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, who was
Exactly.
the subject of a kidnap plot, and so you don't know that.
And his
You're
white
talking about
supremacist.
you're talking about a power vacuumist. It sounds like a transformer, but the truth, the truth is that our domestic problem, we could easily, if we wanted to, and we do not, for very good reasons, as I think Kevin said, we could easily have a war in Europe, not going into Russia, but certainly with Ukraine or in Ukraine, and still handle our problems at home. I don't understand the even concept of that. We would not use hundreds of thousands of troops. It would not be necessary. We have air, we have drones, we have all sorts of things we could use if we so chose. I do not think we're going to choose to do that because Kevin was right. This requires a slap and saying to Putin, look, you're not, we don't want you to keep doing this, certainly. Ukraine, you might get away with one or two of these things, but you're not taking back Latvia. You're not taking back Estonia. You can't have your entire old republic back because those are NATO members, and we will fight you on that. So we're
All right,
trying to
let me
not have a
respond.
world war on this, okay? But I think you're just wrong in terms of your analysis of the domestic situation. Thanks, Tira.
Yeah,
Let
All
me
right.
let me make
No,
one
no,
quick
no, no.
response because
One mic,
she
bro.
did mention
One
me.
mic. No, no. I understand that. She cleaned up some things that you said, and that's what she's here for, to make sure that
She
she
actually
cleans
didn't
this
clean
stuff
it up.
up.
That's why I want to
Once again,
respond.
guys, welcome to Debate the News, man. We're talking Russia invades the Ukraine, guys. COVID updates. The Supreme Court
All right, hold on,
actually.
hold
Bro.
on one sec.
Yo,
Hold on one
yo,
sec.
get him
So
off
you're
the
not gonna let me
stage. Can y'all
respond?
get him off the stage? Off the
You
stage.
emotional? You emotional, bro?
Yeah,
I was
get
just
him off
trying to
the
respond.
stage.
Peace.
So thank you. Don't ever talk while we're doing these little things, bro. That's the ultimate disrespect. I don't know if you're new to Clubhouse or what, but don't do that. All right, so once again, guys, welcome to Debate the News. Russia invades and COVID updates, guys. Once again, guys, we are talking about the Supreme Court did not strike down the main state mandate. They let that stay in place. The fourth vaccine, the fourth dose is being recommended. We have the Supreme Court of the United States pretty much telling Trump that he does have to turn over his papers, and they're not blocking the papers from being turned over to the January 6th committee. And we have the guilty verdict and the Arbery case. So we have a lot more to talk about, guys. I want to talk about the fact that it seems schizophrenic. The Supreme Court upheld the main mandate for vaccine mandate and refused to hear that case. What are you guys' thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the fourth shot? What I believe is Hawaii's the only state that has not removed the indoor mandates. Guys, what's going on here? Is COVID disappearing just like that? The UK has removed all of its COVID restrictions. What's going on here? That's what I want to do. And the floor is back open to anyone that wants to jump in on the COVID or the Russian. Let's go.
Hey, I want to
guys.
jump in, Jonathan's Credit Ninja.
Go ahead, Credit Ninja.
Hey, I've been quiet the whole time and kind of listening into everyone's opinions and, their whatever they read on the news and so forth. Here's the difference, guys. I've actually been through the war and I've been through the Vietnam War, which is probably the worst war possible. I know I look young, but I've been through all of that. And when the Russians were supporting the North Vietnamese, we called them the Viet Cong. And it's brutal, guys. And the thing is, when they don't have the freedoms that we have in the US of A, and this is just my opinion and what I've went through. I mean, we have like concentration camps over there, and we have the government controlling everything we do. We couldn't even have trade with outside countries. Even when the fall of Saigon happened, that's the old name for Ho Chi Minh City. That's how old I am. But when we left the country in 1975, it
How old
was
are
because
you?
I'm 50.
You
Well, I'm
keep
going to say
saying
it.
it.
Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm
No, just
53.
kidding.
Yeah, no,
Nah, just
I'm not,
kidding.
but I'm not kidding, guys. I'm very transparent, and when Jonathan met me, I still act young. I still have that young man attitude. But the difference between me and 80% of the people in this room and in the listening lounge is they haven't been through a major war like that, where every day the bombs are going off. Okay, and that would be my last meal before I wake up in the morning. It's not a good thing. And when we had to deal with Russia for those many years, over I think 15 years worth of posturing and them trying to control this, and you know what? They don't follow rules. They don't follow. They just do whatever the heck they want. It's like the jungle rules for them. And when they start invading certain parts of Vietnam and they align themselves with the troops that are guerrillas, they operate under a different type of setting. They crawl under tunnels. They are in the jungles. They do stuff that the U.S. was not trained or prepared to handle. So when the U.S. troops came over there back in the 60s and they started training. They started fighting the war. They had no clue how to handle that in those different terrains. And of course, the Russians were providing a lot of support, ammunition, missiles, and all this stuff. But the minute the U.S. for some reason, they did draw out, and when we didn't have the support any longer, military support, financial support, medical support, then that's when it's over. So that's my point, is when they are supporting a certain side, and they have it's always having to do with some
Right.
type of natural resources that they're trying to control over there. And that happened to Vietnam, because we had a lot of oil, we had a lot of minerals, we had a lot of resources, we had a lot of gold, we had a lot of mines. So that's the posturing right there. So I just wanted to add
Right.
that, guys. It's when Russia is involved, it's very, very unstable. Back at you.
That's true.
You know,
And it tore up the Minsk agreement. The
hey,
Minsk
hey,
agreement
Jonathan.
was made.
Somebody earlier,
Yes.
said that we get 75% of all our trade, and someone cleared it up. My man, Mike cleared it up. He said 20 is actually 18.6%. So they spread misinformation about numbers and stuff to make their point. So
Yes.
go ahead, Jonathan.
No, I agree with you. I'll just say, I agree with you. That's unfortunate, man. That's why we need to vet these things out as they're being said, and that's why we need to debate the news, because people got different news. One thing happened, man, and it's like different news going on, man. So, as I was just saying, Jerry, that what's going on with the COVID, what's going on with the Supreme Court and Donald Trump in January 6th, and that Arbery case. The federal grand jury found all three. People guilty of racially motivated, being motivated and chasing and killing Ahmaud Arbery. Those are things that we have to touch upon, and anything else that you want to bring up during the last hour. But Jerry, Maine gets to keep their mandate. Maine does not have to lift their mandate per the Supreme Court. What are your thoughts about that?
Damn! Wow, that's breaking news. What does anybody think about that? They actually want to keep their mandate. Wow. What do y'all think about
The state?
Yeah, I know the state of Maine.
It's not a surprise. That precedent has already been set,
Right.
and since it's already been set, people thought that it would be something relevant or easily transferable on the federal level. So
Let's
the
let's
Supreme Court has
let's over.
already did that.
No, I'm saying I just wanted to open it up to some of the people that haven't had a chance to some non-moderators for a minute. So some of my non-moderators is in there. Y'all want to jump in? Rashida, I see you unmute your mic. Does that mean you want to jump in, or you just unmute your mic because you? And I see A with a party hat. Any of y'all want to jump in?
Guys, I want to ask something actually.
What do you want to
So,
ask?
so you guys speaking about Russia, like, is Russia wants to wage war? But guys, what do you think about the US wanting to deploy the Mark 41 missile launchers in Ukraine? Like, Russia probably saw that as like an offensive act.
Once again, bring us proof. Anyone knows anything about the U.S. putting a missile there? I don't think the U.S. Show us where that's been said, because that seems
It's
like
in foreign policy and in many news magazines actually.
Okay. All right. So once again, Putin has not listed that or mentioned that at all. Putin's whole thing has been about NATO.
He
Okay.
mentioned that actually 4 weeks ago in a speech, and you can find the speech on YouTube actually. I'm quite sure you can access that info.
All right, what country are you in, my brother?
Tara?
So actually, like for
I
example,
can't exactly hear him. He's speaking really low. All I know is the United States delivered on the third shipment of some missile launchers, etc., to Kiev, but that was a planned thing not to be used by Americans, but to be used by the Ukrainians. I am not aware of anything else, but I couldn't really hear him, to be honest.
okay, I'll try to. I just changed my settings. So back in the 80s, the Soviet Union wanted to deploy some missiles in Cuba, and the US actually wanted to wage war against the Soviet Union because they wanted to deploy missiles close to the US land. So basically, this is exactly what's happening in the last 2 months. The
No.
US is trying to
That's not true.
That's not correct,
actually.
bro. I'm looking it
So
up right now. I'm
He's talking about the
looking.
Cuban Missile Crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis was the Russian government wanted to place ICBMs in Cuba, which will make
Yeah,
it strategic attack point for
yeah.
the United States. That scenario don't match here. For one,
Yeah,
you already
exactly.
have you already have
But the
armed
Constitution
NATO
missile can
countries.
actually use for offensive,
Okay, well,
purposes.
let me ask you a question. Does Latvia,
Yeah.
Estonia, and Lithuania, do they share a border with Russia? Yes, they do. Are they NATO countries? Yes, they are. So that's not an excuse, right?
Exactly.
Now, on top of that, is there already ICBM capability from the West capable there to hit any point in Russia? It already exists, so it's not the same thing.
But
Here's the
it's not
problem
in the
that's actually
border.
going on.
It's not in their ports,
Putin
actually.
is using a political and a patriotic excuse in order to get Ukraine. His main thing about Ukraine. Think about it. Why would that? Why would that be similar to the Cuban Missile Crisis? When in his speech he says Ukraine should not go anywhere. It belongs to Russia. It's always been a part of Russia. We didn't say that about Cuba. We just told Russians, "Yo, get out of here. We don't want you over here because you're a
The US
threat."
gave Putin probably the excuse
Yeah,
if you want,
Jerry.
like they
This, I
told
guess, this
him
gentleman
in
wasn't in here when I
November.
was arguing with Yoshi, and I said the same damn thing to Yoshi when Yoshi was talking that dumbass earlier. It's just,
Come on,
it's
Jonathan.
mind-boggling.
Look. First of all, when you were mentioning that the United States pays
No, no,
Cuba,
no, no. But
the
the
United States
gentleman,
pays Cuba $4,000 a month. Okay, and Cuba has only cashed one of those checks, and that was by accident. All right. Fidel Castro, when he was alive, he says that they were being held at the barrel of a gun and that they consider themselves as being occupied. That's from Cuba's perspective.
one second.
Okay,
Once
so
again,
that would be equivalent to
once
someone
again.
moving in your
Well,
house who you don't
one
want there
second.
and
That
paying you rent and refusing to
no, no, no. They
leave.
actually lived there before Fidel became in power. So don't even try that.
What you mean?
Okay.
Who lived there? What do you mean?
They had that base there before Fidel came in power. Cuba was our playground. The United States playground, the casinos, all that stuff. Cuba was the place to go.
I'm just telling you
Okay,
what
so no, no, no. I'm
Fidel.
saying
I'm
no.
just telling
What
you
it
what
is
Fidel said, not
you
that they got there after Fidel was there. I'm just telling you what Fidel said.
okay. But once
So
again,
I'll
just
send you
because
the
Fidel.
article.
So
I'll send you
so
the
let me
article.
actually. I
Back
have a
channel.
question. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so just because Putin just said that, what he said, that makes it correct then.
No, I wasn't listening because I was doing something else
Okay.
when he said about Putin. I'm responding
No,
about
no. What
Fidel
I'm
because
saying, Putin just said that about Russia and Ukraine and everything else. So that makes it correct for him to go back in and take the land. No, it doesn't.
no, I'm commenting because you mentioned me about Cuba
No,
and
I
what
get
I
that,
said
but what?
earlier was correct, my friend.
No, it wasn't. The gentleman just
I'm gonna
disagreed
send
with
you the
you.
article,
Sorry,
and
Jonathan.
I'm telling you
I
this from
must
Cuba's
say,
perspective.
Russian is over Sweden right now. I am in Sweden right now, and they are flying over us now. So I just want to say it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the
that's fine.
beginning.
Sweden and Russia actually don't have a problem with airspace. Russia actually use their air practices and things.
That was not
Parts
what
of
I
that.
mean. They are just beginning right now. I'm just saying it, because our sirens is, oh, so I just saying it.
Well, that's what we're talking about, and that's what I'm talking about. So the gentleman. Once again, I'm going to go back over to Jerry. Jerry, back to you. The gentleman just said what he said about Cuba. Exactly what I said about Cuba. We didn't annex Cuba. We didn't occupy Cuba. Okay. And so, when you're using Cuba as an example of the United States doing the same thing, you're absolutely wrong, Yoshi.
But the thing is, the US does not need to occupy Cuba to do whatever it wants there.
All right. With that
And
being
also, I'm
said,
not.
And why would Russia need to occupy Ukraine to do whatever it wants there, since
I'm
apparently
not
it has all
defending
these
Right,
sympathizers in those regions? I don't understand.
right. It makes
I'm
no
not
sense
saying
at all.
Putin is
It's
right,
similar
actually.
to the scenario to compare this to will be like Mexico is saying we want Southern California and Texas. And you're like, why? Because there's a lot of people there from Mexico, and since they're ethnic Mexican, we have a right to take that part of America. That doesn't make any sense. So just because there's ethnic Russians in eastern Ukraine doesn't mean that that part of Ukraine needs to belongs to Russia now. It makes no sense at all.
I'm not defending Putin, actually. And I'm not saying that he have the right to do what he did. But the US gave him the reason he needed. So for him, it is justified. Like if the US did not deploy those missiles, probably he would not dare to take that
we
action.
did not deploy missiles. We did not deploy missiles.
Actually,
We have submarines. Why would we need to do that?
We did not deploy missiles.
are you sure about that? I'm
Yeah,
looking
I'm
we have
positive.
now.
I did the research. I did the research already.
we have nuclear
My friend.
we have nuclear subs, Ohio class submarines. Why would we need to do that?
So yeah, that was fake news.
Sounds like
He may be
disinformation to me.
talking. I think I can explain a little bit better.
No, no, no. We delivered some weapons. We delivered weapons over
Exactly.
there. That was part of an agreement. And guess what? That wasn't the first time we delivered weapons. Guess what, guys? We're arms dealers. Okay, the United States are arms dealers. Okay, it may come as a surprise to y'all. We sell arms. We sell it to Saudi Arabia. We sell them all over. Okay, that's what we do. So
Russia does the same too.
But
Why do you think when you look at Middle Eastern countries, what is their rifle you always see them with?
AK.
AK-47, the 7.62 round that comes from Russia, and they buy they buy it. I mean, they sell it to them. Like I said earlier, West Africa as well as Ethiopia and South Africa, they rely. They look at their Air Force. Look at the Nigerian Air Force. Look at the Ethiopian Air Force. Look at all of them. They fly Su-27, Su-33 fighters. That is a Russian Sukhoi fighter. They sold that to them.
Exactly. So real quick, Tara, is Tara here? Trump, the Supreme Court said that they cannot, that they should turn over the papers for January 6th. What does that
Look,
mean?
I would like to hear one person on this stage defend Donald Trump's continual trashing of norms. Okay, he had no case at all. This is ridiculous. Basically, he just asserted executive privilege and said none of the documents that he left behind can ever be delivered to Congress because he was president. Biden typically would have the right to make those determinations, and the Supreme Court said, well, they didn't. They just refused to hear it. It's done. But Donald Trump literally has spent his lifetime engaging in litigation delay in a way that most of us could never do. Okay, he stiffs contractors. He basically, his whole theory has been, if I wait them out long enough, and he's trying to do this with every lawsuit he's ever had, then maybe they'll go away or I'll win something, etc. I think it's despicable. I think it's abuse of the legal system. He's doing it. He did it with all those cases about election fraud, which, by the way, did not exist. This is Tira. Land my plane.
He is a businessman. That's what he does better, actually. And he did that when he was
Being a
president.
businessman, what does being a businessman have to do with what he
I mean,
did?
Jonathan's a
That to me
businessman.
doesn't make
Jerry's a
sense.
businessman. They don't sit there and basically decide to use litigation tactics to delay. I mean, I'm assuming that most people who are business people don't spend their lives in court. Donald Trump had over 4,000 lawsuits. That's almost unheard of for what is essentially a small family business.
Well, billionaires do that for taxes. It's just that Donald Trump does it on a more on another
Absolutely,
scale.
absolutely. So essentially, he's out of time now. All those documents are going to go over there, and they're going to proceed. Donald Trump, I mean, is he going to be indicted? I mean, I don't know. He's a ex president. I've never heard of an ex president being indicted before. Does it set a precedent? What does the future hold for Donald Trump? His social media app, Truth Social, guys, was the #1 downloaded app yesterday on Apple. What does that say as well? And guys, listen to me. As I said before, every state has lifted their indoor. I mean their vaccine mandate. Their mass. What was the vaccine mandate? Sorry about that. And they're lifting these restrictions, and the UK has done it as well. Omicron, as we're coming out of Omicron, that BA2 variant is still out there. What's going on, guys? Why are we lifting those mandates right now? When we were just saying that we required that everyone should be required to be vaccinated, and that was just before the Supreme Court at the end of December, January. So,
it's straight up politics.
what was
I
that?
said it's straight up politics, man. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, I agree. From a UK perspective, it's perfect political timing. We've got so much shenanigans going on over here that the timing is perfect to be the prime minister that says we're the first country in Western Europe. Our economy's grown more than any other G7 country, and we're completely rule free. That's him waving a Great Britain flag purely for political gain. It's a roll of the dice. And I hope everybody else, takes a bit more caution before lifting such severe measures.
Anyone else thinks
Does the
that?
guy who just spoke, I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Do you think that Boris Johnson has gotten away from whatever Partygate scandal he had?
It's still there, but this is a massive step forward for the mid right and the centre right, to get the economy boosted, to get the percentage of vaccinations that we've got. It keeps coming up in every prime minister questions that he has. So he's able to swivel away from the difficult conversations. He's able to say, let the independent review take its time. And quite like you've just said about Trump and his delay tactics, Johnson has been a fantastic political mitigator. It's a phrase that he's used before, and he's able to pivot away from more pressing issues and create that whataboutism and say, well, what about this we've done, and what about that we've done, and we're the first to do this, and yeah, we threw some parties, and yeah, I broke my own rules, but look what I've created with the help and support of the Conservative government. So I think he's won back the Middle England, and I think he's moving towards getting away from Partygate, but he's not quite there yet.
Wow.
David, one word.
I'd like to
Smoke
speak.
and mirrors.
I'm Greg from Michigan, and Governor Whitmer is my governor. I'm very glad she wasn't kidnapped. Uh, she's she was been so careful. She listened to the science more than more than almost any other governor. Was the science also a bad thing for our economy? Yes, but she wasn't sure how dangerous this was. She locked us down way early. But and now she's lifted the mask mandate. So I'm thinking, vaccines are going well. Hospitals are no longer flooded with COVID patients, and that unfortunately masks have become this political standing point where people are saying it's child abuse to mask a child. Like, so your grubby kid can cough on me? I think masking children is a great idea. But I think it's just, bowing down politically because it's a contentious point, even though it's polite to wear a mask in public if you're sick. And, they're just going to rely on the hospitals and the vaccines from now on.
Okay. All right. Good point.
This is Christian. I was just going to say, Governor Whitmer was sued by my bishop in Michigan. He was one of the first churches to file suit against the state for their mandates in 2020. And I mean, it does not surprise me that many of these states are rolling back their mandates because of the blowback that's happening inside of the school boards and the school districts. And with the elections not that many months away, they don't want this in the minds of the independents and the unaffiliated voters, because they know they need those voters in order to uh, win whatever races that they think they have a chance to win. So, I mean, as the other said, it's obviously a political move to convince the public or to sway the public interest away from looking at the mandates at all, to just take away the issue off of the table.
Hey, Jonathan, it's CB Davy. I agree that it is political, but at the same time, I also think that the data proves that there is a certain percentage of vaccinations that the results of that's working. I think there's a percentage of herd immunity that's working, and we're saying, hey, let's put all these things together. I think the risk is has been assessed to the point where they think it's low enough to say, let's go ahead and pull these mandates back, and just let whatever happens happen. I truly believe that the folks who are vaccinated, we took responsibility. I believe those who did not get vaccinated made their own personal decision, and they also the folks who put on masks and made sure that they took time to ensure that they didn't spread anything or things of that nature. But in this beautiful land, man, that and I still call it the great experiment, that we all live in. We have the right to make our decisions, and within those decisions, I truly believe that we've taken our time to assess everything, and we realize that the risk is really low. So it's pretty much at this point, it's just time to see what happens. I'll lay my mic there.
Absolutely. Hey guys, I have a question for you guys because I don't agree with their methods, but were the truckers right? Were the truckers right? Does this make the truckers in Canada correct?
Hey, Jonathan, it's Ice. I don't think it's a matter of correct, or not correct, but I think we do need to analyze the data. I don't have it with me, but cases did not explode. The truckers were all there unmasked. People were together in large masses, and I do believe their numbers did not go through the roof. So um, I think they did prove their point. With that being said, I land my mic.
Yeah, not about proving point. I'm asking the point were they correct and asking that these mandates be lifted when they asked that I requested that these mandates be lifted, and so I would never justify what they did. I think what they did was wrong. I think it was an entitlement to have hot tubs out there. If you're protesting, you're protesting with hot tubs. Come on, man. That to me, someone has a hot
Creative and
mic.
peaceful.
I'm from Ottawa, so I don't mind chiming in. So I've seen the protests several times because it's just down the street from me. And I don't think what they did is wrong because here in Canada, we have a lot stricter mandates and vaccine rules than in America and anywhere else, I would say, except Australia. We've lost a lot of our charter of rights here in Canada due to the government, and so I think it was well justified in my opinion. We've lost the freedom of assembly, the freedom of association, freedom of mobility. You can't get on a plane or a train in Canada unless you're fully vaccinated. So to me, they were fighting for our charter of rights, and I think that they were justified.
Wait, sorry, say that again. You can't get on a train unless you're fully
Yes, so
vaccinated.
in Canada right now, we have very strict rules. If you're unvaccinated, you cannot get on a train or a plane. So we cannot leave the country. We can't travel province to province unless we're driving.
Jonathan, this is Giuseppe. Can I share the date of scientific date in Italy? Because people say
Go ahead.
does work.
Go ahead, Giuseppe.
Okay, I want to share because I try to don't talking if I don't have experience. But this is a scientist journal that this month they close in Italy. Why? December 2021 in South Italy we had I'm in USA, but all my friends, all my family, lockdown, full lockdown. You can live in your house. You need to use the mask. If you want to reserve the restaurant or to jump in the supermarket, you need to see. You need to show. Sorry, you need to show the green pass. Green pass is driver license in USA, not the paper of CBS. They give me I'm full vaccinated. Everybody can build it. I'm fake. Okay, listen this date. South Italy, December, only 3% of new cases of COVID. Full lockdown. You can leave. You want to go in the supermarket, only one person of the family. And you need to wait inside. There are 20 people. You need to wait outside when leave new people, the old people jump inside the old people. I had 17 restaurants in the place that we before we went 200 place table 200 people that can sit now can stay inside only 50 people 50. Okay, only 3% doesn't work mark doesn't work the mark vaccinate no vaccinate in North Italy. Florence, Milan, Venice, Rome, the tourist place, December, plus 47% new cases. Tell me why? Because the tourists, they are not obligated to use the mask. They are not obligated to show the
Okay.
Clubhouse. And that is the difference, Jonathan. And I
So
finish to talk about Trump, if I can.
go ahead. That was good. You say that's wrong.
Yeah, because people continue to tell Trump is bad, Trump is bad, Trump is bad. Listen to me. I'm Italian. In the last 5 years in Italy, we had the same people, the same mentality of Biden. we closed 17,000 business owner, entrepreneur, retail. Trump is the only person in the last year who was entrepreneur. He pushed a lot the business, and if you open the new business, you build a new place of the employee, and that is people don't understand. Who hate Trump? The employee. But don't forget, if you don't push the entrepreneur, the business owner, who built the new place to work for employees? Giuseppe and I'm done.
All right, Giuseppe, I'm going to disagree with you about that, but I get it. Trump,
Hey,
Trump did some great things, but once again, he's all out of appeals. And I wanted the young lady that said something about she support the truckers. Listen to me, blocking the international border is not ever okay. Okay, and they could have gotten their message out quite differently, than what they did get their message out. And so, to go out there, if they're out there protesting, okay, protesting isn't supposed to be some Jewish occasion, where you guys have hot tubs and big TVs and all that other stuff out there enjoying it. That would have been shut down immediately. Had it been almost any other group. I don't agree with that, man. So I have to respectfully disagree with that. And here, I tell you something else. Canada extended their emergency powers yesterday as well. So they're going to continue to assault those bank accounts and seize those accounts. So there you have it. Because once again, the damage that was caused to your city, Ottawa, ma'am, and there was a lot of damage. You do agree with that, right, ma'am?
No, there wasn't a lot of damage at all. I went down there. They literally cleaned the streets. They picked up their garbage. There was no damage. They never looted one store. They never had arrests for any assaults or
They
violence, no deaths. Like, there was no damage.
Anyone else from Canada here? Anyone else want to speak on this?
They
Yeah,
Because
didn't like
actually, I
those
would like to.
honking horns.
Can I, if you can, Jonathan, my twin sister, she lives up in Ottawa, and she was just preaching some stuff about it. I asked her to join the room. Her name is Shelly. She wanted to talk on it. If you don't mind bringing her
go
up.
ahead, Shelly. But yeah, she has to raise her hand. But absolutely. So listen to me. And once again, you guys are saying, "Oh, these guys are great guys. These guys are great guys." What make them great guys? What make them great people? I mean, they're out there. They're blocking the international border. They for 3 weeks
Hi,
straight.
Jonathan.
You guys.
Hi,
Yes.
I would.
Jonathan.
I just came on.
I'd
Oh, go
like to
ahead.
the.
No,
I
I'm gonna go with
I'd
Shelly
like.
first. I'm gonna go with Shelly
Okay.
first. Let's start. Go ahead,
Thank
Shelly.
you. All right. So, the I was there from day one, January 28th. They rolled in. I saw them from my window, heard the honking. For me personally, the honking led me to beautiful sleeps because finally someone was out there who was talking about things that were making me so sad for the last 2 years that no one cared to listen to. No one, even in these rooms on Clubhouse, they're like, go get the shot, shut up, this and that. No one cared to listen to my views. But finally, truckers did something that no one saw in Canada. They did not let their fellow person get left behind, and they stood up for them. So they rolled in quick, and it was like it was basically for the mandates to start with for just the truckers, but it blew up so quickly. All of us that were marginalized, that didn't have a voice, those truckers gave us a voice, and I was there from day one. I live in downtown Ottawa. I did hear the honking. For me, it was great, but for others, it was it disturbed. They handed out earmuffs, free earmuffs to anyone, and they were pushed further into the parliamentary area with all the working businesses, so away from the residential places. So it did quiet down a little bit more, but there were still fireworks at night that still disturbed some of my coworkers. I don't know. I know don't have much sympathy. I'm sorry for that, but I was just so gung ho on the truckers and why they were there. And then when I got to meet them, um, it was amazing. There was so much love there, and please just understand my testimony is firsthand being there every day. The love was there. I work with the homeless. downtown Ottawa with me and my two sisters, the homeless were taken care of. They were fed. A crack addict who was to the streets was now getting paid $50 from that person, and the third to bring fires and keep the fires going. Yes, there were partyings happening because the government wasn't listening to us. So we had to keep warm. We had to still be there for each other, and we stuck our guns to be like, when will the government listen?
One second. So because you believed in what they're doing and because you were having fun, it made it okay.
No, that's not why they're okay. I was saddened.
One second, because you said they were honking the noise, which is making it I guess uncomfortable for a lot of people in the neighborhood. Then they were doing fireworks at nighttime as well. Okay, which was making it uncomfortable and quite dangerous if it lands on the rooftop. Because once again, I'm quite certain they're not. But once again, that was okay. They were doing something that made you feel good. So even though it
not that it made
marginalized,
me feel good.
even though it marginalized most of Canada, okay, it made you feel good.
No, it didn't marginalize most of Canada. Like I said, they went to the working area, so there weren't any residential homes there. It's wide streets, so the fireworks are little mini ones that didn't go too high. There wasn't any danger. There were a lot of kids around. It was fine. It wasn't too dangerous.